Good evening. I'm your host, Dr. McNasty, and you might have noticed I haven't uploaded in a while. Well, I've been kinda busy. Very busy. During my brief hiatus, I've been working on a project of building the ultimate dream multicade. What is a multicade, you might ask? Well, it is an arcade cabinet that most likely dwells in a neckbeard like myself's home that is filled with a multitude of ROMs and rare games that nobody can find in physical form, but at least we can play it at home thanks to illegal ROMs. These are usually built homebrew, much like my own, and why don't I show you the little steps I took in order to build my little dream project. Unfortunately, I recorded most of the progress through phone, but as you can see, the steps I took through painting and, well, mostly a lot of painting and a lot of wiring, finally getting the screen in, and I was inspired by this little mini arcade thing that I got for my Nintendo Switch, which was actually supposed to be for my Raspberry Pi kit, which it didn't fit too well, but all in all, it inspired an even bigger arcade build, which I was more than happy with, which now we can use on stream to do retro game nights. So yeah, that's what I've been busy for doing for a little while, that and trying to deal with the giant tree that fell in my fucking yard. But yeah, enough with that bullshit. Let's get down to the video games. Hi, welcome back to Bootleg Arcade. I'm Doc McNasty.
And I'm totally Morgan Webb. And you're watching another epic skull-crushing, boss-beating episode of Bootleg Arcade. Isn't that awesome, Doc?
Who the fuck are you? How did you get here? Anywho, we're all aware of the perils of the movie/TV tie-in video game. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be terrible. Well, here's a list of games that actually aren't terrible. Starting off this list, we have the early Harry Potter games. Long before J.K. Rowling was being hella cringe by being what the kids would call a TERF and all that other fun shit, by making hateful comments that exclude a very big portion of her fan demographic, Harry Potter was actually a fun thing to embrace. Matter of fact, it was so fun they had great video games. And one of those of which was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, or the Sorcerer's Stone for my fellow folks in the States. Not to exclude the later entries, but the first game kinda just hit the sweet spot with the first entry. But, funny enough, there was actually 5 different versions of the game. I'm not talking about 5 ports, I mean 5 different versions by 5 different studios who developed each version of the game. But let's talk about the EA games. EA's take of the franchise is surprisingly a good one. Even the ugly PS1 variant that everybody likes to keep making those memes with the chunky looking Hagrid. Because despite its looks, it surprisingly has tight controls and solid puzzle gameplay. Personally, I'm more familiar with the PC version because, well, I was kind of bougie like that when I was a kid. What can I say? But the PC version is, well, a good example of what good platforming is of a game and simple platforming. Despite my age, what was I, like 11 at the time? I found the puzzles to be easy but challenging enough to keep me wanting more. Not only that, the games kind of filled in the blanks that the movies didn't at the time, which, kind of a Potterhead that I was dying for it. The game does a good job of going to locales and doing events that were key points in the stories, and it really gave you a sense that you were, in fact, at Hogwarts. And honestly, it's something that we lack in games today. So if you got some sticky fingers and know how to torrent things online, I suggest you playing this because Lord knows J.K. Rowling doesn't need any more of our money, that stupid bitch. On to the next game.
Wow, that was so exciting. With all those spells and monsters. Just wow.
Seriously, How the fuck did you get in here?
Ooh, Soup's easy answer. The producers of the show, Maury Wright, thought this dusty old program could use some sex appeal, so they hired me. Look, Doc, it worked for Adam Sessler, didn't it?
Didn't you wind up, selling him out and, leaving him high and dry? And also, who the fuck is Maury? This is my show. I'm the only producer on here.
Aw, is the old man sad 'cause little ol' Morgie Webb had to step in? Deal with it, Doc. Nobody is watching you jabber on about stupid games nobody remembers. You at least gotta add tits to the mix,
No, I don't know. And honestly, you haven't been hot since 2005. But if you're gonna stand here and waste my time, at least present the next fucking game.
Psh, fine, Mr. Krabby. Next, we have Jurassic Park for Super Nintendo. Jurassic Park is an open-world action-adventure video game for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, based on the 1990 novel and 1993 film of the same name. It was developed and published by Ocean Software in 1993. The gameplay is simple. Majority of the game is played via Zelda-esque top-down view, but switches to FPS in the interior portions to add suspense, which really pushes the early 3D hardware to its limits, but truly helps create some truly tense moments, especially in early game, when resources are limited. Unlike its graphically superior cousin on the Sega Genesis, which relies on the side scrolling, much like Donkey Kong, Jurassic Park for the SNES is more faithful to the film that shares its name, with a large open world and some challenging bosses. It's hard not to see why this game is so freaking cool.
Up next, we have the early acclaimed South Park games. Long before great games like Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole, Acclaimed tried their hand at a South Park game. Not once, but twice, with both South Park the FPS and South Park Rally. The first of the two games would be South Park, or as I like to know as South Park 64, which ran off the Turok engine and also followed same, but slightly different, control formats. The game itself is pretty linear, but where it truly shines is the multiplayer, almost rivaling GoldenEye at points, which I'm kind of dating myself in saying that, but the game itself was genuinely good. Mostly following the lore between the first two seasons, the humor surprisingly aged well. Coming up second is South Park Rally. Taking the simple premise of a kart racing game and adding elements of twisted metal and party games, this game is kind of a juggernaut. Not only that, it has a rogues gallery of pretty much every character between Season 1 through 4, which makes this a must-play game, and also a lot of people who complain about the controls honestly aren't good. I had no problems playing this on either the PlayStation 1 or the N64 or the PC, so I don't get the deal. This is a generally fun game, and if you have an old console and some buddies around, I demand you fucking play it. The soundtrack's fun, it's obviously by Primus, and yeah, pick it up if you have a chance.
As for our final game for the evening, it's Alien Trilogy. Alien Trilogy is a first-person shooter video game developed by Probe Entertainment and published by previously mentioned Acclaim Entertainment in 1996 for the PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and MS-DOS platforms. The game is based on the first 3 movies in the Alien film series, one of the first games developed by Probe following their acquisition by Acclaim. It debuted Acclaim's much-hyped motion capture technology. The game was well received by critics, who praised its recreation of the film's atmosphere and its gameplay depth compared to other first-person shooters, and was a commercial success. Alien Trilogy takes many elements from Alien film series, such as facehuggers, chestbursters, dog aliens, adult aliens, and queen aliens. The game consists of 30 levels and 3 queen alien bosses. It features several weapons, including the pulse rifle from Aliens and other equipment, such as a shoulder lamp, which can be used by the player. The console versions only have a single player campaign, whereas the DOS version also features Deathmatch Network multiplayer. All in all, with its creepy, narrow environments and a sheer gauntlet of face-hungry aliens, it's hard not to love this sci-fi classic.
Unfortunately, that's all we have for this installment, but stay tuned for part 2, coming real soon. As always, I'm Dr. McNasty.
And I'm Morgan Webb. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, feel free to comment below. And we'll see you with part 2 of this list real freaking soon. Bye.
God, I fucking hate you. Why are you here? Click the thumbnail card for more Doc McNasty adventures. Go ahead. You know you want to.